You're listening to Puff Digital's Into the Weeds podcast, brought to you in part by Puff Puff Posts and HigherMentality.com.
The new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
Do you live in, are you from Southern California originally, growing up?
No, I'm from Texas originally.
So you still don't understand seasonal depression yet, and this is the thing. Ophelia gets it, but I never knew that I had it until I moved to LA.
Well, I spent 4 years in Germany.
You found out that it comes out, because for me, I just never knew that I had it, and so I go down to LA, and I'm like, oh, February is rolling around. I guess I'm just gonna drink too much, make a whole rash of bad decisions. Maybe I should tell my girlfriend I'm probably gonna break up with her during this month. Seasonal depression is happening. And I got down to California, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I'm super stoked to go around every day. And that's when I actually realized it does affect you.
That's why we're so happy down there. Hey, can we talk about one thing? It probably happens in Canada too.
Sure.
Do you have people up there who are, quote unquote, I'm doing air quote fingers, OGs who put down new people coming in because they were there first?
Yeah, I would but that's yes, that does happen. But that's happened since the dawn of fucking weed. Since what I mean, there's always been one thing I've noticed about corporate cannabis, let's say it, and I'm not against the regulated market or anything like that, but one thing I've noticed that there's certain things that are always exist. People will always the guy you're buying your weed from is always going to say they have the best fucking weed. Do you know what I mean? And there's the structure of selling will always be the best way. Like the black market figured these kind of things out. When we first started touring LPs, there was all these different kind of grow methods that hadn't been tested, and then they were saying, we're going to be able to grow this much weed. And that was the exact same as when we got our first light, when we were 18 and thought we were going to get a pound, and we got maybe a half quarter. And so it's all kind of that. So that's why I don't get harshed on it.
Well,
but
so to me, it's almost similar. This is going back to one of my memes. Is
your memes are fantastic.
Well, it's comparing dick sizes.
Yeah.
Right? I have a bigger dick because I've been here longer.
Yeah.
Right? No, it doesn't really matter. It's just how much heart you have. It's not how much dick you have. And considering I'm in a room full of 4 dicks here, you must agree with me.
Well,
micro dick over here.
Yeah.
Well, we do microdose.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Microdose dicks?
So you
microdose. Chris, all right. Where were you born?
What?
Where were you born, Chris? Where did you grow up?
Fort Stockton, Texas.
Oh, yeah. So
deep south, and spent most of my life growing up in Texas and Oklahoma. And that's where I got introduced to cannabis. My mom growing it in between the corn in Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah. You guys did that down there too? Because we were really good at doing that up in Canada. Yeah.
My mom sold it to all the motorcycle gangs, helping support herself as a single mom. And that's where I learned about she dried it in the backyard, in the garage, or we got rid of the washer and dryer so we could have light in there and grow some.
That's crazy.
All sorts of stuff.
And let's just quickly to find out, because I want to compare this to Canada. What year roughly would it be when you were a kid?
That probably 80, 81.
80, 81. And so what was the conversation about cannabis? Was it super anti-cannabis in Texas? Because it's super conservative down there, right?
My mom was one of the first people to ever get divorced. I mean, that's how, conservative it is around there. And, other than
your mom was one of the first people to get divorced?
Yeah, on our block, there was nobody that was getting divorced. I was the first person to do it. It wasn't cool back then in this, early.
Because it's fucking so cool right now.
It is. Everybody's moving on.
It's not
acceptable or whatever. And, that's just how it went.
And then, so what did you do? Because Ophelia said that you produce bands and you worked with music and you've done all sorts of interesting things. We're plowing through your episode right now, so we're going to hit all the talking points and just get to know you.
Yeah, I did not produce any bands.
Sorry.
But what I did work with that gave me some access to some really cool people is one of the first and only high-end cannabis luxury subscription boxes in California called the M Box, Club M.
Okay, cool.
Where we were sending, the best of cannabis and upgrading people's lives for $100 a month. It was like Christmas, and you would get all the latest weed and edibles and vapes and all the really cool stuff. They were themed, and that's where we first saw Canagar. We had some of the first ones that we did way back.
So how much weed is $24,000 box? So that's the
24.
Well, so what we were doing was pretty innovative at $100, And at the time when subscription boxes were relatively new to the world, people were paying like $10 and $20 for, makeup and, comic book stuff to come up to your house. So, when my $100 box came out, the biggest feedback was, Chris, that's too expensive. $100 a month. What the hell? So the next year I came out with $1,000 box and, the 1K box, and just blew up because I was like, fuck you. I mean, really, $100 a month, you're spending more than that in a week on weed. Why would you care that, $100 is too expensive? So I came out with that, and it was just a marketing stunt, but everybody loved it. Right. So we blew up and we became, really big in California. But what happens then is people started copying us, coming out with stuff.
Yeah.
And there were some people that copied our model and came out with very similar business models, even ripped off my entire website and put it on their website and all sorts of stuff. And they called themselves AU box. Right. And which is the chemical symbol for gold. Right?
Oh, see, I thought it was like Canada, because in Canada we'd be like, hey, you.
Yeah. Wasn't that. So, because my box was black and gold, this gorgeous encyclopedia thing that you would get in the mail, because I was a geek and I loved getting encyclopedias in the mail as a kid. And so that's what this experience was supposed to be like. And so when she came out with the gold box, I was like, well, I'm going to give you another fuck you. I came out with a 24K box, the $24,000 box, the most expensive cannabis subscription box.
And did you, and you found it in the luxury, and you found it.
I designed it. I made it. It was all out of recycled wine barrels. We had it etched with all sorts of things, and it came with, gold, diamond tipped, little joint tips, and all sorts of high end luxury stuff that we had built. A rhinestone crystal vape, tower, and all sorts of stuff.
So every month people would pay $24K to get this box.
People would buy it as a one-off, and then they get a lifetime subscription.
Okay.
Right. Through as long as we were delivering them, they were getting them. And again, because I'm a marketing guy, new to the cannabis world myself, it was just again to get the word out, and we ended up selling a whole bunch of them. Wow. So it was great.
And so, and then how did you guys get involved with each other? Like, so the luxury, so you got, obviously that's where you found your taste for luxury cannabis.
When I came into the industry, I thought I could take all my marketing experience and all my connections and everybody I knew in Southern California and just blow this thing up. I was like, no problem. I'll just make a couple phone calls and we'll get this on social media and influencers will talk about it. Nobody would talk about it, right? They were like, I'm going to lose my banking contract. I'm going to lose my Ford contract. Right. I can't do that. So I started looking everywhere to meet people, and I met Ophelia at Women Grow in South Hollywood. It was a networking event, where they were helping women, grow their businesses, and she just helped me a ton, and we've built a good friendship over there.
Yeah, and now we're partners.
And now you're partners.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
And then so the Canagar, so was that you guys collaborating?
No, the Canagar came from another farm, from TJ.
Okay.
Yeah. And then another Canagars that I have are from Wolf Mountain. Wolf Mountain, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm not used to having something this close to my face.
I know.
I don't like stuff this close.
I'm sorry.
It makes me very boring. It's like, get that away
very
from my
boring.
face. No, oh my God. It's like,
hearing you is not boring for our listeners.
Oh, well. Yeah, but they're not sticking stuff in my face. So that's different.
Well,
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I can tell you.
It's not that kind of a thing.
No.
You're sticking it in your own face to be truthful.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah. I am forcing it into my own face.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm requesting it.
Yes. And I'm holding it.
Yeah.
And I'm moving it.
And it's working.
And I'm watching it. So I'm
oh, that makes you a third party.
Yeah, voyeur, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Being cuckled in a podcast, it's my very first. I've never had that before. I really enjoy it. Thanks, Ben.
Oh, speaking of, we thought of
Speaking of cuckolding?
No, a CBD cod piece.
Oh,
really?
Right, keeps it calm.
A CBD what?
Cod piece.
What's a cod piece?
Remember
like over your
like a
crotch,
jockstrap.
like a jockstrap.
Oh,
remember Henry VIII? He had this cod. It was cod pieces.
I'm square.
And it had a leather cod piece where you put your whatever. Because in the old days, they got cold because they're wearing those little tutus with tights.
Yeah.
Right. So what would be the benefit of a CBD cod piece? Is it good for your dick?
You would wear it when you left home and your wife would be okay, but you going because everything's going to be anti-anxiety and just dead back down there. And not inflamed.
Oh.
It's more satirical in nature. I think this kind of...
We're kind of stoned.
Oh, comedy. Okay, comedy. I get comedy.
So...
Well, I can't get the toilet paper off the ground, so I'm not going to do it a cod piece.
Yeah.
The CBD jockstrap. Yes, that's it. The CBD jockstrap. And all you got to do is spray the cup. And then just put it on.
Is there like a nano?
Forever an innovator.
Is there a nanotechnology that's allowing for it to get absorbed in through your ball sack?
She's just upgrading, where you've seen the yoga pants and the sports bras and the pillows that are all coming out of that stuff.
Sure.
And so, that's where,
that's
back to Ophelia's memes, that's where this stuff comes from.
So
expands on it.
So since we've chatted last, and you are always very well composed, but your frustration with the I don't know where this episode is going, but you've had a tipping point with these memes.
Oh yeah.
Like you've definitely decided like you want to speak out against what's like not against, but you don't mind satirizing what's happening.
Being nice, well, poking a specific person or putting their picture up and going, that's a consultant.
Yeah.
So it's more a roundabout, nicer way of just poking a little bit of the big bear, but not being snarky or a bitch about it. But it's funny.